Snow lashes through the broken doorway of a forgotten cabin. Ethan Cole's flashlight cuts a trembling path across overturned cages and chains slick with frost. A single spark flares ahead, then another. He moves before thought, crashing through the dark as the lighter ignites again. The figure holding it jerks, startled, gas can slipping. For an instant, the world is framed in orange. A man, a dog, a weapon raised. The shot never comes. Only the echo of something older, a fire that once consumed an entire unit of trained canines. This night feels the same. He drags the suspect down, cuffs clicking against steel, breath short, pulse pounding with recognition. Somewhere inside this wreck, truth smolders beneath the ash of obedience. He doesn't know yet that the spark he just stopped from lighting gasoline will ignite everything he thought he buried 2 winters ago. 2 years earlier, the night sky over Seattle turned the color of rust. An explosion ripped through a police training warehouse, swallowing metal and fur, orders and screams. Ethan Cole lay pinned beneath debris, lungs filling with smoke, hearing one sound that would never leave him, the rasp of a German shepherd's breath slowing beside him. When rescue crews pulled him out, the dog was gone. Its tag listed as Canine E21, officially dead, incinerated in the blast. But the report never matched the burn radius, never explained why certain kennel doors were already open. That memory followed Ethan to Montana, disguised as a transfer, disguised as healing. Yet in quiet nights, he still saw the flames bending like hands, reaching for unfinished truth. Some fires die when the oxygen runs out. This one waited for snow, for gasoline, for another shepherd to crawl out of the dark.
The storm carves the empty highway into silver veins as Ethan's cruiser slows near the ghostly gas station. Under the sagging sign lies a shape barely moving, soaked in fuel, trembling from exhaustion. The suspect mutters curses into the wind, lighter ready. Ethan doesn't remember leaving the vehicle, only impact, restraint, a heartbeat fighting beneath his grip. Then silence, the kind that follows violence too quickly. He looks down at the animal sprawled in the snow, ribs sharp against its skin, eyes half open, yet conscious. He wraps it in his jacket and sees something beneath the burned fur. Ink, faded but intact. Canine E21. The number blurs, reforms, refuses to vanish. His pulse stumbles. 2 years of therapy, of pretending the past was paperwork, collapse in a single breath. The dog isn't supposed to exist. Neither is his second chance. Driving through white haze toward the clinic, Ethan can't separate the present from the night of the fire. The same scent clings to his gloves, the same sting behind his eyes. He'd told himself trauma was chemical, that ghosts were neural misfires. Yet the dog in the passenger seat breathes like someone who once knew him. He keeps glancing over, waiting for the next breath to stop, terrified of déjà vu completing its cycle. Every mile feels stolen from fate. In his chest, guilt beats louder than the heater. He tells himself it's rescue work, nothing more. But deep down, the part of him that never left the burning warehouse whispers another story. That this animal isn't random, that someone wanted him found tonight, alive just long enough to reopen a sealed file, stamped closed due to accident.
At Silver Ridge Veterinary Clinic, white light glances off steel. Dr. Sarah Whitaker works with the precision of someone who doesn't ask questions until the bleeding stops. Ethan watches as she trims scorched hair from the shepherd's neck, uncovering the mark fully. Letters black as coal. K9 E21. She leans back, confused. That code belongs to a unit declared destroyed. He says nothing. The silence weighs more than words. For a moment, the animal stirs, a faint shiver tracing its frame, and Ethan feels a pulse echoing his own. Sarah's eyes narrow. The pattern of scarring isn't random, it's surgical. Someone branded over healed tissue to erase older marks. Whoever did this wanted identity erased, not life. Outside, dawn edges through snow clouds, washing the room in pale remorse. The town of Silver Ridge still sleeps, unaware that one lost badge number has just crawled home from the grave. Files arrive hours later from the regional database. The registry for K9E21 loads with a single Andler entry. Sergeant David Rains. Status: deceased. Record: sealed. Ethan stares at the screen until the cursor blinks like a warning light. He'd served under Rains during the Seattle operations. He remembers loyalty drilled like scripture, obedience above conscience. Now those same rules feel like barbed wire tightening. Sarah's questions drift behind him, unanswered. Outside, the storm buries tire tracks, as if trying to erase witnesses. The report notes an internal investigation, never concluded, never published. The file stops mid-sentence after local disposal authorized. Disposal, not recovery, not memorial. The word hangs, cold and deliberate. Ethan prints it, folds it once, and slides it into his jacket. He knows disposal means burial, and burial means someone alive decided truth was too dangerous to survive.
Chief Raymond Holt stands behind his desk, steady as oak, eyes unreadable. The office glows with that tired authority of men who mistake silence for control. Ethan lays the report down. Holt reads halfway, then closes the folder gently, like covering a wound. He advises Ethan to focus on the living, to leave ghosts to paperwork. It's the kind of order that sounds like mercy, but smells like threat. Ethan leaves without argument, but the echo follows him down the hall. Boots on linoleum, an old rhythm from training days. Outside, the storm has cleared. The quiet feels rehearsed. He realizes Holt already knew. Every step back to his cruiser feels like crossing a line drawn years ago. Behind him, in the glow of the sheriff's window, the folder still sits unopened, but Holt's hand rests on it as if guarding something that could end them both. That night, Ethan studies the shepherd sleeping beside his desk. A spark from a lighter used to sterilize an instrument makes the dog jerk upright, eyes wild, muscles locked. No bark, no growl, only silent panic. Then collapse, trust returning like a tide. The reaction isn't instinct, it's memory. Ethan understands it too well. He remembers freezing at fireworks, sweating through night shifts whenever diesel fumes caught in the air. He whispers nothing, lets quiet do the work. The animal steadies, chest rising slow again. Across the desk, old case photos lie scattered, burned kennels, broken collars, the kind of evidence that never makes reports. Every image points back to training grounds east of Seattle, grounds overseen by Chief Holt before his transfer to Montana. Patterns align like crosshairs. The dog's nightmares aren't random. They remember hierarchy. Somewhere, obedience turned into cruelty and survived.
The next day brings the call from forensics. The recovered slug from Balor's flank isn't police issue. It matches a civilian hunting rifle. Ethan already knows whose, Earl Danner, the man arrested that night. But the angle of entry says otherwise. The bullet trajectory aimed higher, as if targeting a human. Someone stood between hunter and dog when it fired. Maybe Valor wasn't victim, but shield. The thought fractures certainty. He replays the arrest in his mind, the look in Danner's eyes, half fear, half defiance. "You don't understand," the man had muttered. Maybe he didn't. Maybe Danner wasn't killing strays. Maybe he was cleaning evidence. Ethan stares at the report until the paper trembles in his hand. Every answer drags a darker question. If the shot was meant for someone else, the next one still might be. Night hums inside the office, lit only by computer glow. Ethan keys the access code for federal archives. The connection stutters, then flashes. Restricted file access, Seattle K9 Enhancement Program. A transfer from an unlisted IP mirrors his search in real time, line by line. Someone else is in the file with him. He kills the link, heart hammering. On his desk, the printed memo reads, Local disposal authorized. In the corner of the page, nearly invisible under fold shadow, rests a faint red initial, RH. He doesn't need to decipher it. Outside, Silver Ridge sleeps, its streets buried in snow and secrets. Inside, the heater ticks once, like a countdown. The truth he's chasing isn't buried under dirt. It's archived in servers still breathing, guarded by the same hands that told him to move on. Some orders never expire. They just wait for disobedience.
Morning light edges through the clinic blinds as Sarah examines the shepherd again. Beneath the burned patch on his hind leg, a second marking glints faintly. Another E21, smaller, cruder, inked over the first. A counterfeit identity layered across truth. Ethan studies it in silence, the logic unraveling. Someone replicated the tattoo to fake a record, to make sure when one body burned, another could carry its number. 2 dogs, 1 name, 2 deaths, 1 cover story. It means the real canine E21 never died, or was never meant to. Valor lies still, unaware of how much of himself is missing from paper. Outside, frost begins to melt from the cruiser roof. Ethan feels that same slow thaw under his ribs, the moment disbelief gives way to anger. Somewhere, someone rewrote loyalty in permanent ink, and now it's coming undone. Ethan drives toward the outskirts of Silver Ridge, road unspooling between pine shadows. He remembers Holt's voice telling him to stay out of old files, but disobedience tastes cleaner than guilt. On the seat beside him, a folder holds Earl Danner's belongings. Among them, a crumpled page scrawled with numbers. Not bank codes, not phone digits. Latitude and longitude. He feeds them into his GPS, watching the map bloom with wilderness, a ridge far north outside jurisdiction lines. The same area listed in the disposal memo. He stops the car before turning onto the forest trail, letting the knowledge settle. They weren't hiding paperwork, they were hiding bodies. The engine idles, like a heartbeat before a confession. Some coordinates point to treasure, these point to graves.
Snow muffles sound as Ethan steps into the woods. The air feels wrong, clean, too quiet, as if waiting. He follows the trail until his boot strikes metal under frost. Digging, he uncovers rusted wire, then a collar, scorched but intact. Another tag dangles. Canine F14. Different code. He keeps digging, gloves tearing, breath clouding, until bones surface, white against dark soil. He stands motionless. Valor whines softly beside him, then sits, staring into the pit like recognizing an old formation. Ethan doesn't count the remains. Counting feels like disrespect. He photographs each tag, each coordinate. The list inside Earl's folder matches them line for line. Whoever signed the memo didn't just order disposal, they supervised it. These woods aren't a hiding place, they're a ledger written in bone. Valor's recovery accelerates unnaturally fast. Within days, his gait steadies, wounds close clean, yet his eyes track unseen movements, his focus snapping to corners where no one stands. Ethan recognizes hypervigilance. He's lived inside it. Trauma doesn't heal, it waits. Each time he glances at the dog, he sees memory reflected, warehouse walls collapsing, heat roaring. He wonders if Valor remembers the fire, the voice giving commands to burn everything. Late that night, the dog rises suddenly, pawing at the window, staring north toward the ridge. There's no sound, no scent, just instinct pulling him back to unfinished duty. Ethan realizes this isn't recovery, it's direction. Something up there still calls him home. Back at the sheriff's office, photocopiers hum, indifferent to what they reproduce. Ethan requests archived warrants, hidden under animal control. Most are routine, one isn't.
signed 2 winters ago by Chief Raymond Holt, authorizing the removal of damaged assets from a federal training site outside Seattle. The line beneath reads, "Oversight, R.H. Holt." He rubs the page between his fingers. The ink has bled slightly, as though touched by damp hands. The same red initial that stained the disposal memo appears faintly again. He scans and backs up the files to an encrypted drive, but deep down he knows digital proof rarely outlives politics. Paper burns faster than conscience. This time, he won't let it. Ethan visits Frank Lewis in the forensics lab, but he's not looking for conversation, just confirmation. The recorder used for Earl's interrogation glitched mid-session. Now it plays back faint static, an almost rhythmic pulse under white noise. It's too consistent to be random. Someone spliced out segments. Frank shrugs, claims corruption. Ethan notices fresh solder on the recorder's back panel. He leaves without accusation, but distrust roots deep. Back in his car, he replays the noise at full volume. Beneath the static, a single word surfaces between frequencies. Bennett. His stomach tightens. The signal is old, pulled from another tape, another timeline. Someone layered audio to erase confession with confession. Truth now hums like interference, faint but undeniable.
The following evening, Valor wakes violently from sleep, hackles raised, teeth bared at invisible threat. For a second, Ethan sees not fear but purpose. The dog isn't reacting to nightmare, he's reliving instruction. Movements precise, practiced. Somewhere in that conditioning lies a command that still waits completion. Ethan pulls out the recovered tags from the ridge. Valor sniffs them, then steps toward one, sits. Tag F14, the one missing from Danner's list. Ethan checks the file again. F14 listed as test subject terminated. Handler, Chief Raymond Holt. The realization hits cold and surgical. The man running this town once commanded the dog now sleeping in his cabin, and the chain of obedience might not have broken as cleanly as he hoped. In the sheriff's office after hours, only cleaning lights burn. Ethan waits until the hallway empties, then unlocks Holt's private drawer using a copied key. Inside, a stack of sealed envelopes bound by a thin leather cord, each marked with a canine designation, each containing a short report and a single photograph. Burned facilities, missing animals. The last envelope bears one word, handwritten, Valor. He unfolds the photo, the same German shepherd, years younger, standing beside Holt during a ceremony. On Holt's sleeve, the same patch from the Seattle task force. The man who told Ethan to forget the past once smiled beside it. He reseals the envelope, but memory never reseals. Loyalty once branded doesn't fade, it burns.
A storm returns overnight, flattening the ridgeline in white. Ethan spreads Danner's ledger across his kitchen table, each entry marked by initials. Most mean nothing. One repeats, RH. He traces the pattern. Every instance aligns with the destroyed kennel. Every coordinate leads north. At the bottom, a final line scratched into the margin. E21, failed disposal. The handwriting trembles, as if written in haste. Failed disposal. That's what Valor is, a survivor, mislabeled trash. Ethan closes the book, rage steady and controlled. If the sheriff treated living officers like evidence, he'll expose him with the same precision the man used to bury truth. Some reckonings start as paperwork, others begin with a name. Valor stands by the door before sunrise, posture alert, eyes locked on the distant tree line. Ethan feels the pull too. The ridge isn't finished with him. He gears up quietly, loads camera, gloves, shovel. Snow drifts like ash as he drives the unmarked road leading north. The GPS signal flickers, then dies. At mile marker 23, the tracks from last week remain half buried, pointing uphill. Valor jumps from the truck before it stops, leading the way with eerie certainty. When Ethan crests the ridge, the storm thins enough to reveal shapes in the clearing. Freshly disturbed snow, too smooth, too deliberate. Someone's been here since the last excavation. The graveyard breathes again, waiting,
for witnesses.
Ethan steps into the clearing, snow whispering against his boots. Beneath a thin crust of ice, dark earth shows through in uneven patches. He kneels, scraping aside powder until metal scrapes metal. Another collar, another number, then a second, and a third. They form a half circle, a perimeter like a forgotten formation. He realizes this isn't random burial, it's ritual. Each collar faces east toward the mountain sunrise. Valor stands beside him, trembling but unafraid, as if recognizing a pattern older than language. Ethan photographs everything. The dates etched on each tag overlap the week after the Seattle explosion. Someone relocated the bodies here deliberately. Disposal wasn't cleanup, it was relocation under command. Above, a crow lifts from the trees, startled. The motion breaks Ethan's stillness. Every dead tag beneath this ridge is an unspoken order, and the living one beside him is the order defied. Back in his truck, Ethan reviews photos, frame after frame of snow and tags, until one image halts him. In the blurred background, past the pit's edge, a faint silhouette stands among the trees. A man's figure, shoulders squared, watching. The timestamp reads minutes before he arrived. He zooms in, resolution decays into static, but outline remains unmistakable. Uniform coat, badge glints. He's seen that posture for years in briefings, ceremonies, reprimands. Chief Holt. The photo shouldn't exist because Holt was in town during the storm, or claimed to be. Ethan stares until the image loses shape, until doubt feels like proof. Someone followed him here to ensure nothing stayed buried. The truth isn't waiting to be discovered, it's guarding itself.
Ethan spreads Danner's notebook again, this time focusing on the final page, the one nearly torn out. Indented handwriting faintly presses through. Ridge cleared, pending report. Handler erased. He tilts the page under lamplight, tracing grooves like a ghost message. Handler erased. The phrase carries the weight of a death warrant. Valor's handler, Sergeant David Rains, listed dead, cremated. Yet the burn logs from Seattle showed one unclaimed body missing identification. A switch was easy. One burned dog, one burned man. No remains to dispute paperwork. If Rains survived, he'd be invisible, living under false clearance, waiting for someone like Danner to finish his work. Ethan closes the book. The storm outside rises, answering thought with thunder. The missing handler may not be dead, but the truth he carries could finish the living. In the lab, the recorder hums again on Ethan's desk. He plays it once more, filtering static through software. Voices surface, layered like sediment. One is unmistakably Holt's, calm and rehearsed. The other, Ethan's own, reading lines he never said. Someone stitched his voice onto a confession draft, word for word, shaping guilt through technology. The rhythm is perfect, the breath patterns identical. The file creation date predates Earl Danner's death by 3 days. Someone planned to destroy credibility before accusation began. Synthetic truth travels faster than real evidence. Ethan erases the playback, but the echo remains, looping in his mind. They're not hiding crimes anymore. They're manufacturing replacements.
At dawn, Holt calls an all-staff meeting. Ethan stands among officers while the chief's tone slides between pride and threat. He speaks of unity, respect, brotherhood, words built to disarm suspicion. Ethan studies faces, looking for reaction, for cracks. None appear. Loyalty is armor. Everyone wears it flawlessly. Yet when Holt's gaze meets his, a flicker passes, recognition of challenge. Between them lies an unspoken past, the warehouse, the orders shouted through smoke. Holt ends the briefing, applause brief and hollow. Ethan leaves knowing every man in that room would obey Holt's word without hesitation. Valor would have once too. That's what makes obedience so dangerous. It always sounds noble at first. When dawn breaks, news arrives quietly. Earl Danner, found dead in his cell. Officially, suicide. No signs of struggle, yet both wrists bruised, one thumbnail torn. Ethan stands in the morgue corridor, staring at the covered body, the end of a chain that began with gasoline and snow. The file will read closure. He reads it as punctuation. On Danner's wrist, faint ink, E21, a matching mark, freshly burned, as if added after arrest. Whoever killed him wanted the pattern to continue, a signature left behind. Disposal isn't a task anymore, it's a message. Ethan realizes the list in Danner's notebook isn't finished. It's still being updated.
Among Danner's belongings, a receipt crumpled into a wallet pocket shows a fuel purchase time-stamped 1 week ago. On the back, scrawled in pen, a date from 2 years earlier, the night of the fire. Nothing else. No words, no address, just that date. Ethan knows what it means. Danner wasn't working alone. He was commemorating something, returning to the anniversary of the explosion. Each act of cruelty an offering to the same forgotten command. He photographs it, sends a copy to his encrypted drive. The evidence feels ancient, ritualistic, as if the department has been circling one unending date instead of time moving forward. In Silver Ridge, even the calendar bleeds. Ethan enters Holt's office before the sheriff returns from a public meeting. The room feels like it's waiting to exhale. He scans framed commendations, every certificate echoing the same agency, Seattle Tactical Division, same year as the fire. Behind one frame hides a thin compartment. Inside, a thumb drive. He plugs it into his laptop, archived footage, security feed labeled Training Day 12. The screen flickers, showing handlers and dogs maneuvering through simulation drills. Holt's voice commands from off-screen. Then, explosion, smoke, static. The feed cuts. File timestamp matches the official accident. The last frame freezes mid-chaos, Holt pulling Ethan's body clear while others burn. The rescue that made Holt a hero began the cover-up.
The video ends, but one detail lingers. A man standing behind Holt, untouched by flame, face obscured by mask. Zooming in reveals a nameplate barely visible on his vest. Rains. Sergeant David Rains. Alive after the blast, walking behind the man who reported him dead. Ethan stares at the still frame until the edges blur. If Rains survived, he either vanished willingly or under command. And if Holt helped him disappear, Danner's orders trace back to that ghost. Valor shifts in sleep nearby, paw twitching. Maybe dogs never forget handlers because the bond isn't emotional, it's coded, trained, unbroken. If Rains lives, Valor will find him. The question is, who does he obey now? At dusk, Ethan and Valor return to the ridge. Footprints not theirs mark the slope, newer, heavier, leading toward the pit. The air carries faint warmth. Ashes rise from smoldering ground. Someone has set the graves alight, erasing evidence faster than snow can fall. Ethan moves closer, staring into the half-burned tags curling at the edges. Each one melts into anonymity, years of loyalty undone in minutes. He feels rage and helpless awe collide. The cover-up isn't history, it's maintenance. Valor steps beside him, eyes reflecting the flames. For both of them, the past has caught fire again, and this time, it's personal.
By morning, nothing remains of the ridge but cinder and silence. The evidence Ethan gathered, tags, photos, coordinates, now only exist in digital fragments. Yet even that safety dissolves. His encrypted drive won't open. Files corrupted, replaced by a single blank document labeled closure. He stares at the screen until his reflection merges with the word. Someone erased not the crime, but the context, turning truth into myth. Every survivor looks insane when proof burns. He knows Holt's reach extends beyond paperwork. Inside the station, servers hum with obedience, and he can almost hear the system breathing, rewriting memory in real time. The case isn't about dogs anymore. It's about control. Who commands history? Who decides what survives? Ethan shuts down the monitor, feeling the weight of an invisible leash tightening again. Valor stretches under morning light, revealing more healed wounds than Ethan ever noticed. Each scar crosses another like a map carved in pain. He photographs every mark, lines them on screen beside archived canine training grids. Coordinates align: shoulder, flank, ear. Each matches a known injury pattern from the Seattle Fire's casualty list. Valor isn't just a survivor, he's a record. His body carries a cartography of every forgotten dog, a living archive of what they tried to destroy. Ethan realizes even if files vanish, flesh remembers. He prints the image sequence, seals it in a weatherproof case, and hides it beneath floorboards. In a world that rewrites data, only scars tell the truth.
Late night, the old police radio in Ethan's truck crackles, though no frequencies selected. Static builds, then fragments of voices bleed through. Commands from the Seattle program, recordings presumed lost in the fire. Words overlap. Contain, neutralize, dispose. The cadence is unmistakable. Holt's voice layered over another. Rains, both giving orders seconds before explosion. Ethan listens, frozen. The system isn't haunted. It's broadcasting from an old repeater, still active on a dead channel. Someone resurrected it to remind survivors who's still in charge. Valor lifts his head, ears pricking to a frequency Ethan can't hear. The radio cuts abruptly, leaving silence thick enough to taste. He realizes the past hasn't returned. It never left. Inside the station's records room, dust lies thick as confession. Ethan forces open a drawer labeled Archived Personnel Losses. Beneath yellowing pages, a sealed envelope bears his name in Holt's handwriting. Inside, a transcript. A debrief he never attended, statements he never gave. Each line reconstructs a false version of the explosion: operator error, panic, negligence. It turns heroism into blame. The narrative frames him as the cause. His promotion to Silveridge wasn't refuge, it was relocation for control. The guilt he's carried was planted like evidence. Every choice since has been manipulation disguised as mercy. He folds the transcript slowly, understanding at last that the department never saved him, it repurposed him.
Valor refuses to eat that night. He sits by the door, gaze fixed outward, muscles tensed like memory. Ethan senses the same unease crawling through him. He follows the dog's stare into the dark yard. Nothing visible, but the stillness feels occupied. He checks the cameras later. Frame by frame, the feed shows a shadow lingering near the tree line, unmoving for hours. When dawn rises, footprints lead away, deep and heavy. Not Holt's gait, too limping, uneven. Ethan compares the stride to old field photos. Rains' injury after shrapnel. It matches perfectly. The ghost handler isn't a ghost at all. He's been circling them, waiting. The dead always return to reclaim what obeyed them. Following the tracks north, Ethan drives into the woods. The path winds toward an abandoned hunting cabin, roof collapsed, windows black. Inside, dust lies over tactical gear, dry blood, and a wall covered in photographs. Each image is of Valor, taken over months from a distance. Notes scrawled beneath: responds to commands, remembers signals, still obeys. In the corner, a set of boots and a tattered uniform. Nameplate: Rains. Ethan understands. Rains survived the fire, hid in anonymity, and tested the dog from afar, waiting to see if loyalty still held. Every encounter, every panic in Valor's eyes wasn't memory, it was recognition. The dog's nightmares weren't trauma, they were unfinished orders trying to execute themselves.
In Rains' cabin sits a rusted laptop, half-charged but functional.
Ethan powers it on. The desktop fills with surveillance feeds, clinic hallways, his own cabin, even Holt's office. Someone's been watching everyone, pulling threads from both ends. Rains wasn't rogue. He was collecting leverage. Each clip stored under one folder name, Leash. Inside, final video, timestamped the night before Danner's death, shows Rains meeting Holt at the Ridge. No audio, only gestures. Holt handing a lighter, Rains nodding once. Then static. Partnership confirmed. Mentor and subordinate never separated by fire, only bonded deeper through it. The cover-up was collaboration, not coercion. Ethan stares at the frozen image. Two men framed by smoke. One alive, one resurrected. Ethan copies every file, transferring data to his encrypted drive under a new alias. The plan is simple. Release everything at once. Truth doesn't survive hesitation. But Holt anticipates moves before they form. He trained Ethan's instincts himself. The line between hunter and student blurs. Ethan prepares contingency backups, mailing fragments to out-of-state contacts. He feels the clock closing in, not from fear, but inevitability. Every corrupt empire collapses at the speed of exposure. Yet the thought of destroying Holt isn't victory. It's a severing of his last link to who he used to be. The truth will free the town, but consume him with it.
Before dawn, church bells ring through Silver Ridge. Ethan parks across from the chapel, watching Holt step outside alone. The old man looks smaller, his breath clouding in the cold. He removes his hat, murmurs something to the snow. Maybe confession, maybe calculation. The gesture feels almost human. Ethan realizes Holt isn't haunted by guilt. He's worshiping it. Guilt keeps him holy, keeps him justified. He's not protecting corruption. He's protecting meaning. Without the lie, his life dissolves. Every abuser of power believes they're preserving order. Ethan watches him kneel, the man who buried lives to save his badge. Redemption doesn't come to men like that. It rots inside them until it smells like faith. At 3 a.m., Ethan's encrypted upload starts. 47 gigabytes of evidence climbing toward daylight. He waits as progress inches forward. The monitor's light washes color from his face. Valor sleeps nearby, unaware the truth that made him is finally leaving them both behind. Halfway through, the connection drops. A new message appears. Unauthorized transmission detected, terminating process. The bar freezes at 73%. Outside, engines stir. Headlights sweep the cabin walls. Holt's patrol convoy surrounds the property. Inside, the upload flickers back to life, resuming from where it stopped. Ethan takes a breath. There's no hiding now. Every truth worth telling ends with pursuit.
The cabin windows fracture under headlights that refuse to blink. Ethan moves through the dim light like through memory, collecting the only things that matter. Valor's leash, the hard drive, a single photograph of the ridge. Outside, boots crunch in rhythm, formation clean, professional. They're not here to arrest, they're here to reclaim evidence. The department closes ranks like muscle over a wound. Ethan feels the shape of Holt's training still inside him, how to breach, how to subdue, how to silence. He built them, now they come for him. Valor rises, posture low but certain, reading the air the way soldiers read intent. The last command Ethan ever took was to stand down. Tonight, he breaks it. The first shot tears through the doorframe, splintering years of restraint. The siege isn't a battle, it's a reckoning for obedience itself. They flee through the back trail as gunfire chews at the siding. Snow swallows their prints until only the soundless rhythm of breath remains. Valor runs beside him, not ahead, partnership redefined beyond command. The forest stretches endless, each tree a shadow of consequence. Ethan doesn't aim for escape, he aims for distance between truth and control. Behind them, lights sweep like search beacons through a cathedral of pines. The drive clutched against his chest feels heavier than any weapon. Each bite inside it could shatter the image of every man carrying those guns. The night no longer belongs to Silver Ridge. It belongs to the ghosts they tried to burn.
The river is half frozen, a vein of black slicing through the white. Ethan steps in, water biting deep, current dragging like memory. Valor hesitates, then leaps after him, muscles coiling, weight shifting with discipline that no longer serves rank. On the opposite bank, forest gives way to open field and a single road cutting south. Ethan turns once, sees flashlights gather along the opposite ridge. No voices, just movement. The pursuit isn't loud anymore, it's methodical. He realizes Holt taught them patience before violence. The same lesson he once admired now hunts him. Across the frozen field, dawn bleeds in thin red lines. Every sunrise feels like a deadline now. At headquarters, Holt watches a live drone feed projected across the operations wall. His eyes don't show anger, only control. To him, Ethan isn't a traitor, he's unfinished business. Every program creates an anomaly, the variable proving design. Holt believes exposing Ethan will restore faith in command. One more sacrifice to maintain order. He issues pursuit coordinates personally. Around him, officers obey without pause. They think they're upholding justice. They're erasing history in real time. Holt folds his hands, calm as scripture. For every truth that burns, 1,000 lies survive in uniform.
Ethan reaches an abandoned ranger station miles south, collapsing against the wall as adrenaline thins to ache. Valor stands guard by the door, muscles quivering. The hard drive blinks faint light, upload incomplete but intact. He hides it beneath floorboards, covering it with ash and paper. The room smells of old smoke and pine oil, the scent of vanished men who once protected instead of obeyed. He sits against the cold wood, feeling bones tremble not from fear but depletion. His body is running on duty long revoked. Valor lies beside him, head against his knee, steady heartbeat anchoring what's left of courage. Every survivor carries exhaustion that mimics peace. He knows rest is camouflage. Pursuit never stops, it just circles wider. At dawn, Ethan intercepts the department's emergency frequency. Holt's voice fills the airwaves, tone composed, message controlled. Deputy Ethan Cole, armed, unstable, subject of investigation. The script reads like truth written by authority. Within hours, every local channel repeats it. The hunter becomes myth, the myth becomes threat. His own face flickers on the monitor of a nearby diner television, captioned Rogue Officer. Public trust, once his weapon, now serves the enemy. But inside the distortion, his hidden upload finally pings back online. Partial transmission restored. 1/3 of the evidence survived. The world won't see everything yet, but enough to doubt. Doubt spreads faster than bullets.
Ethan and Valor move deeper into the national park. The pines thin, revealing cliffs and snowfields below. The hard drive remains offline, but his backup plan was never digital. It was human. Sarah Whitaker, the only witness untouched by Holt's chain of command, still works at the clinic north of town. If she receives the evidence, the narrative fractures. Ethan calculates routes, timing, terrain, but fatigue clouds precision. He knows Holt will anticipate logic, so he chooses chaos instead. South trail instead of north, doubling back toward the ridge they both burned. To end corruption, he must return to its birthplace. Every revolution begins where the match first struck. Snow thickens as they climb. The ridge appears through haze, charred soil half buried under white. The air tastes like metal, the way aftermath always does. Ethan stops where the first graves were found, the circle of collars now gone. Only black earth remains.
breathing faint heat as if something beneath still burns slow. Valor sits, tail motionless, gaze fixed on the horizon. Instinct guides him more than command. The mountain hums faintly underfoot, as though alive with every secret it ever kept. Ethan understands. The ridge isn't just burial ground. It's evidence still writing itself, no matter how many times it's destroyed. Truth always leaves residue, and tonight, residue will rise.
Engines echo far below. Halt's convoy snakes up the mountain road, lights threading through snow like veins carrying poison. Ethan positions himself along the ridge edge, every tactical movement reflexive, automatic. He could vanish, let the truth leak on its own, but righteousness without confrontation feels incomplete. Halt taught him to finish what he starts. Now he'll return the lesson. Valor stands poised, no longer prey, no longer tool, just witness. The world narrows to 2 men and 1 secret that refuses burial. Snow begins to fall again, heavier, as if the sky knows this will end in silence or fire. At the peak, the convoy stops. Doors open. Halt steps out alone, his figure cutting through snowlight calm as a man approaching communion. Ethan watches from higher ground, pulse slow, mind cold and clear. Around them, the mountains stretch indifferent. He feels the years of mentorship, deception, and belief collapsing into stillness. Halt lifts his head, scanning the ridge as if sensing the inevitable. No words cross the distance, only knowledge. One built order from lies, the other lost himself inside it. Valor stands between them, the embodiment of what both tried to control, loyalty without ownership. The wind sharpens. 2 histories converge, one destined to end, one to survive as memory. Ethan realizes redemption never announces itself. It waits, patient, at the exact place where obedience dies.
The ridge holds its breath as 2 men face what they've built. Holt stands in quiet symmetry with the world he tried to control, unarmed but invincible in authority. Ethan grips the drive in one hand, the weight of history in the other. Snow curls between them, fine as ash. Valor paces once, then stops halfway, caught between commands learned and freedom earned. For a suspended moment, everything that ever defined them, the training, the creed, the silence, balances on that narrow edge between action and consequence. Ethan realizes there's no victory in this meeting, only exposure. Truth never kills corruption cleanly, it wounds it, lets it bleed in daylight. Holt opens his arms like a preacher greeting judgment, and Ethan steps forward, no longer deputy, no longer disciple. The past has finally met its witness. Holt's hand moves slow, deliberate, coat shifting enough to reveal metal beneath. Reflex surges through Ethan's muscles, training older than thought, but he doesn't draw. He's tired of ending stories with bullets. Instead, he drops the hard drive into the snow between them. Plastic against ice sounds louder than gunfire. The gesture confuses authority. Holt hesitates. The drive contains every sin, but only if it leaves this mountain. Ethan knows Holt will destroy it, and that's the point. Destruction will trigger the secondary transmission embedded within, broadcasting the evidence to every federal node tied to Silver Ridge. The system Holt created will publish its own corruption. Sometimes justice needs a trap built from faith. The chief doesn't see the switch when he crushes it under his boot. Control always ends with one blind step.
The mountain exhales. Wind claws down the slope, carrying snow like smoke. Ethan braces as the last remaining cages beneath the ridge give way, collapsing into a hollow chamber left by melted permafrost. The ground opens just enough to swallow the wreckage of old sins. Metal, ash, the remnants of an empire pretending to be order. Holt stumbles once, footing lost, hand outstretched toward the void. For a heartbeat, Ethan considers reaching for him. Habits still whisper loyalty.
but some falls must happen unrescued. Holt's silhouette drops through snowlight and vanishes into silence. The earth seals again, the storm smoothing every scar. Valor stands at the edge, unflinching. No bark, no panic, just completion. Every command ends here, every leash cut. By dawn, the ridge lies unmarked, blank as forgiveness. Ethan and Valor descend through mist that tastes like thawing iron. The radio on his vest sputters back to life. Federal channels pinging non-stop, digital alerts from the automated leak. The evidence is everywhere now. Files mirrored, photographs released, timelines decrypted. The story can't be buried again. His name will surface with it, branded traitor or savior, depending on who edits the headlines first. He feels no pride, only a steady, hollow calm. Justice never fills the space it burns open.
They reach Silver Ridge as sunlight climbs through smoke-gray clouds. The town moves slower, uncertain under the weight of revelation. News trucks idle outside the sheriff's office. Officers stare at screens that unmade their careers overnight. Holt's name scrolls across national feeds, tied to words like conspiracy, euthanization, cover-up. Ethan drives past it all, unseen, heading toward the only place untouched by command, the veterinary clinic. The smell of antiseptic greets him like memory rewritten. Valor limps slightly, but keeps pace. The world may be rebuilding its truth, but healing remains the slowest revolution. Inside the clinic, silence reigns heavier than applause ever could. The walls hold no answers, only breath. Ethan sits against a cabinet, exhaustion sinking like gravity. The adrenaline that kept him alive dissolves into stillness too wide to hold. Valor curls beside him, eyes closing with the first true rest in years. Outside, news helicopters circle, but no sound penetrates this small pocket of peace. It feels undeserved, which makes it sacred. For men who spent years obeying orders louder than conscience, quiet becomes the rarest form of grace.
Weeks pass. Snow melts into soft earth, revealing the ridge now fenced, marked as protected land. Federal crews excavate remains with gloves and reverence. Reporters call it Operation Valor. They ask Ethan for statements he refuses to give. He doesn't want to narrate what truth already says for itself. Instead, he walks the perimeter daily, Valor trotting beside him. Each thawed tag lifted from the ground carries a name erased twice, once by fire, once by bureaucracy. He collects them carefully, polishing the metal until reflection shows sky again. History isn't rewritten, it's restored piece by hands unwilling to forget. Spring sunlight returns to the town square. A crowd gathers around a new monument of stone and steel, a bronze shepherd rising from ash, inscription below reading, "For every voice that obeyed without choice and still protected." The ceremony proceeds without speeches. The air itself feels solemn enough. Ethan stands back, face unreadable, while Valor sits at his side, chest high, fur catching light like a flag. The people who once doubted now whisper gratitude, unsure how to thank what nearly burned them alive. Heroes don't resurrect towns, they remind them what truth costs.
Months later, the rebuilt precinct operates under new leadership. Ethan refuses reinstatement. Instead, he opens a training division for service dogs and veterans called the Ridge Program. No rankings, no hierarchy, just recovery through purpose. Valor becomes its first instructor, teaching trust where orders used to live. Every bark, every step echoes redemption disguised as routine.
Ethan watches recruits laugh, fail, and learn in equal measure. The world feels heavier, but his heart finally doesn't. Loyalty, once weaponized, becomes devotion again, earned, not enforced. Evening drapes Silver Wedge in gold and quiet. Ethan stands on the ridge overlooking the town, wind tugging at his coat. Valor lies at his feet, eyes half-closed, breath steady. Below, lights shimmer like scattered embers. What once burned now glows. He thinks of Holt, of Rains, of every ghost tethered to obedience, and feels neither hatred nor forgiveness, only distance. The world has moved on, and so must he. As the sun lowers, its last flare catches the snow one final time, turning white to amber, sorrow to warmth. Ethan closes his eyes. Valor raises his head, watching horizon meet sky. In that stillness, history finally exhales. The leash lies buried, and the loyal walk free.